Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. So, we are running this series of getting trained on soft skills and any kind of a training that will be help you for your mindset shift and to develop you and your skills. So, we are going to start a module 1 which is related to communication. Well, it is the most neglected topic that people generally don't go through these trainings. They think it's not important, it's going to be boring, but I guarantee you if you watch this entire series with me, you are going to get a lot of insights, and if you actually apply it in your personal life or in your relationships or in your work environment, this is going to be super helpful for you. So without wasting much time, I would just first of all like to ask that what is communication according to you? Communication is between two or more people. This we have heard from our childhood, and we have been hearing it that communication is something between two or more people. But how does this happen? Whenever we are always communicating. Everybody in this universe is always communicating. Whether it is the environment, whether it is birds, it is animals, they all are communicating. It is the basic necessity and need of an art to communicate. That is why we all are always communicating. What if the communication is not proper? Or if the other person is not able to understand your communication? Why are they not able to communicate? And why is the need of this communication is going to be a topic for today. So we are going to start with it, that why human beings need to communicate, why animals need to communicate, why birds, everybody is communicating through some form or the other with us. And since the technology has advanced, people are communicating through, WhatsApp, Facebook, Instagram, chats, phone calls. You can call anywhere, anybody in the world. So that's how the communication has made itself a bigger and a broader term in today's life. So why is that need for that communication today? Because we as human beings or any kind of a being or planet, when we are there, we need to communicate, because without communication there is no life. If you actually see it, without communication there is no life. So when a person is communicating, they're actually something that he or she is trying to say their part, be their part. Just imagine for a second, if there is no communication in this entire world, how would the world would be? It would not be a world of human beings. I think it will be a world of, some people called it zombies, some people call it. Communication is super important part of our daily lives, whether it is personal, professional, of running our life successfully, having a healthy relationships, and progressing in life. So what is the agenda? Why do we communicate? Everybody has an objective. Why do birds chirp in the morning? Right? That if you get up early morning, you will see birds chirping and humming around. Why do they communicate? So they are communicating with the universe. A peacock dances when it rains. So that is also a form of communication, that a joy that peacock is trying to show. It's raining and it's an emotion for a bird like that. So same way, we also have an outcome or an objective, that why we need to communicate. So what is the agenda? Why do we communicate? And what is the objective that we are achieving while we are communicating? There is an objective, that why do we communicate? So how does this start? It starts with a process. What process are we taking? And what is the outcome? So if we know our objective pretty clear, we will be clear what is our process going to be and what our outcome is going to be. That's why if we are not clear about the objective, and if we just keep on speaking like that, sometimes people tell us, you speak too much. There is no relevance of when you speak, or you don't speak at all. So we need to first identify what is the agenda. Why am I speaking? So if we talk about, all our gurus, Sant, Rishi, they used to speak very less, and when they used to speak very less, their impression and their power was so much. That is the power of communication. If you speak less, there are places where you need to speak, but if you have your agenda, why do I need to speak? What is the objective that I need to complete with this communication? Because if you actually watch yourself, 60% of the time in the entire day, if you are an observant person, is a waste that you are speaking. It is not required for you to speak at that point of time. But just to be a part of community or just to be a part of the environment, we start speaking, right? So if you're clear about the objective and agenda, you need to figure out what process are you going to use. Sometimes process, we don't take care of it. We just write random messages. It miscommunicates, especially happens on WhatsApp. Lot of confusion I have seen in people's life when they try to write something else and the other person is unable to understand and the outcome is totally different. So if you're sure that this is my agenda, this is my objective, and this is the process that I have, then I will be pretty clear with my outcome. What is my outcome? That's what I need to be clear. That whether my outcome is harmony, whether my outcome is fight, whether my outcome is, patching up with someone, or whether my outcome is only related to work. If I'm clear with the agenda, objective, I need to decide what process I need to say. Do I have to speak over the phone? Do I have to call up the person? Do I have to just send a text message? Do I need to email it formally, or do I need to just talk to the other person? The next part is, I'm sure you all must have seen this picture. I think I saw this picture when I was in class 8th, but I never understood its meaning. It was just a communication chapter. I just learned, mugged it up, and I forgot about it. I think most of you have gone through all that scenario and phases. So, what is this communication? The communication process. What is it about? So, I train this for my interview preparation skills also. So, if you are preparing for the interview also, or if you are looking to enhance yourself in corporate life, or if you're changing your life in your personal space, I think this is going to be super impactful for you. So, what is this communication process? Of course, there is a sender and a receiver. Even if you're talking to your own self, there is a receiver inside you who's listening. What is the sender doing? There are two people in this, sender and a receiver. Let's start with the sender. How does this communication actually works? The idea needs to be sent. So if you have remembered my previous slide, it said there is somebody who needs to speak for an objective. If I'm clear with the agenda, there is a process and outcome. So first I need to make sure that an idea needs to be sent. Once that idea is sent, then comes is you encode that idea. Suddenly you get an idea. I need to speak to this, or I need to speak to my bank manager, or I need to speak to my, girlfriend, boyfriend, or I need to speak to my parents. So that is an idea that you get. And then your brain encodes that idea. Your brain starts to encode that idea. And then you decide that I'm going to send it to the receiver. Well, I'll cover this noise part later, but then you send it to the receiver. The receiver decodes that idea based on their understanding, their perception, their persona, and then they receive the idea. First is the sender. Now the sender decides that I'm going to send. Now, if you're pretty clear about the process and the outcome, there is this noise that comes into picture. What is this noise? This noise can be anything. It can be an issue of the internet. It can be an issue of the sender's communication or language problem. Not proper words are framed. So all these things are noises which are there between the sender and the receiver. Or maybe if you're on the phone call, the voice is cracking, or the internet just went off. This talks about the virtual communication. But if you're talking on WhatsApp chats, then maybe half message in different lines, you know what I mean, with same emoji, different meanings, you know what I mean. So that's what the noise does. So when there are so many noises involved, when you are sending this message to the receiver decodes on their understanding. Remember, there are two people, and two people are entirely two different people. They are born, brought up, maybe in the same environment, maybe in a different environment, but they are still different people. They have their own belief system. They have their own patterns. They have their own systems. And that's when they decode their idea. Now, once they have decoded the idea is actually received by the receiver. And that's the noise. If it is at an amplified stage, listen to this very carefully. If the noise is at an amplified stage, and if the sender has not sent it in a proper way, and if there is too much confusion, then the idea may not be received properly. Now, what can you do in this situation? As a receiver, you can send a feedback to the sender. That's the best way. If you're not clear about something, before you get angry, agitated, irritated, just ask a question. Send a feedback does not mean you have to correct them. If they are your superior or somebody at a powerful stage, you can just ask them one more time if you're unable to understand before you process it. So that will reduce the noise, or maybe the decoding at the receiver's end where they fail to understand. So, for example, if there is a language barrier, the other person is trying to speak some words, but while communicating, the language and the tone changes, but the receiver is not able to understand. So, the best idea is you send a feedback to your sender. And once that is done, there is this transmission of message that happens. And that's how you can make your communication better. So this is how actually communication work. Now you might be thinking, oh my God, this is so much in detail and who will think so much? But hold on, we are going to cover it in our next modules. So stay tuned. I'm going to take you through all this. But today, just for today, watch yourself. How much fully are you communicating? What are the noises happening when you are speaking to anyone? And what the other person is able to understand? And if the other person is misunderstanding you or mostly is misunderstood, what is the reason behind that? Maybe you are communicating less, or maybe you are not speaking with clarity. When we will do the 8 C's in my upcoming videos, that's time I'm going to share with you. So that's for today. Thank you for watching, and please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I'll see you soon. Bye bye.